Hi everyone, it's Susan from Pontevedra Life. I want to do my second dish and show you how to make one of my second favorite dishes, which is Spanish lentil stew. This is called Lentejas al estilo español. It is a one-pot dish, very easy to make, very quick, and I really hope you enjoy it. So now we're going to make the lentejas, and this is going to be a super quick preparation, really fast dinner to make. I mean, that's one of the things I love about these Spanish dishes is they're just super fast a lot of times to make, and you know, there's nothing fancy. You just chop up vegetables, chop up meat, and put them in a stew pot, and they're done. What I usually do to feed a group of 4 people is I usually end up cooking it in just a 3-quart pot. And you know, you heat up your pot and basically just give a little bit of a swirl of olive oil to the bottom of the pot and let that heat up. We're going to start with your dried lentils. So these you can find in the supermarket. Goya makes them. There's lots of different brands, anywhere in the dried bean section. But they don't need any sort of prep work. You just take, this is 2 cups of dried lentils. And I put that in first. So I put in the lentils first, and I just kind of coat the lentils with the olive oil and just heat it up and warm it up a little bit. And what you're going to be doing is, this is basically a 1-pot meal. You're going to be putting in, I'm just going to put a little liquid in. This is chicken stock, so the lentils don't burn. I'm just going to put in a little bit at the bottom there. So that's just chicken stock. So the lentils are at the bottom here, and then you're just going to throw in all of your ingredients. So your vegetable ingredients are going to be 1 whole onion, and you don't need to do a fine chop on this, because what happens is the lentil soup will basically stew in the pot for about an hour. By the time that's done, everything will be kind of mushy and ready to eat, and you know, it doesn't really matter what kind of shape the vegetables have, because you're going to be just combining everything together anyway. So you just give this a rough chop. 1 onion here, that just goes in. Oops, there we go. The next ingredient is carrots. So I just have 3 whole peeled carrots, peeled and washed carrots here. And again, you don't even need to, I mean, look at the size of this. Just give it a rough chop, and you know, you can keep the carrots this size. Again, that's all just going to soften up in the stew. And then, you know, what they do a lot of times in Spain, and I know you're going to think that's really gross, how could you do that, is they just add in the head of garlic. I mean, this is a small head of garlic with all the skin in. The skin on, excuse me, and then they just put it in the pot. And you know what happens is it basically just, you know, stews in the pot, and the garlic flavor infuses into the stew, and then at the end of the lentil stew, you just take it out. You take the whole head of garlic out, and you don't really need it anymore. So now on to our meats. The tradition in Spain for lentejas is chorizo, that you would add chorizo to this dish, and that's kind of one of the primary meats in it. Now, I couldn't find chorizo. You know, really good, great chorizo is hard to find. If you want really authentic chorizo from Spain, there's a great site called latienda.com, La that's Latienda, and they, from what I've seen, have real authentic food items like jamón and chorizo and morcilla, as well as cooking items from Spain. They actually sell real chorizo there. You know, I kind of just use what I can find in the supermarket. And so I have here linguica. This is a Portuguese linguica. It's not chorizo, but you know, it's very similar, and it's going to taste great, and it kind of is going to give you the same, you know, the same sense. I put in 2. I chopped it in 4 pieces. And finally, the last ingredient is salt pork. Now, salt pork is a really awesome invention. And just one piece of it can add so much flavor to any sort of stew, or, potage, or, cassoulet. When I make cassoulets, I put in salt pork, and a lot of dishes in Europe incorporate some form of a salt pork. I mean, you can get this at the supermarket. I didn't use the whole piece because it doesn't need it, and I think I cut about a third. So you want to put in a nice healthy piece of salt pork in there, and we're done. We are absolutely done. Those are the ingredients for lentejas, and then the only thing that needs to be done is you need to fill the pot until it just covers the ingredients with chicken stock, or you can also fill it with water. The rest I'm going to top off with water. You can continue to use chicken stock if you want. I find sometimes with the salt pork, the chicken stock can get a little bit salty. So what you want to now do is put your burner on high, and you want to get this whole concoction get it into a nice, get it boiling basically. And get all the ingredients. I wouldn't disturb the ingredients too much. I'm just trying to see if I can kind of mix in the lentils a little bit with some of the other ingredients. So the lentils are all sitting on the bottom, which is fine. Okay, so all the ingredients are now at a boil in the pot. And so what I'm gonna do now is lower the temperature to a low heat. I put it on the lowest heat, and I cover the pot with the lentils and stew ingredients in it. And we're gonna just have that sit like that and cook for on a low heat for about an hour. I'll probably check it midway. I wanna make sure the lentils, I probably just a stir, make sure the lentils aren't burnt or anything like that. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes now, and I just wanted to show you what the lentil stew lentejas looks like. So it's coming along really nicely. It'll probably be done in about 20 minutes. You can always try, and if you really want everything very, very soft, which some people do, you can cook it a little bit more, although you just want to make sure that you don't burn the lentils and burn anything in the pot. I did have to add, one of the things is I do recommend you check, kind of check in on the cooking, because the water levels can go down sometimes. So I did add a little bit more water because the water level went down. And when the water levels go down, you have more of a risk you're going to burn the stew. So one of the ingredients that I want to mention is bay leaf. Bay leaf is an amazing seasoning for these kind of heavy or rich stews, and you just put one bay leaf in there. You could put it in the beginning if you'd like. I usually just put it in halfway through. In addition to the bay leaf, we're going to put in some black pepper, and I'm just going to put in kind of you could basically judge how much you want to put in there. I love pepper, so. And as you've noticed, I'm not putting any salt in yet, because the salt pork, and that's one of the nice things about salt pork, it actually adds a lot of the salt flavor to the dish. So far, haven't really needed any salt yet. Okay, so now our time is up. It's been about an hour, and I think the lentejas are ready. These look absolutely ready and delicious. And the lentils at this point are creamy. You could see the big chunk of salt pork. You could see the chorizo or the linguica in there. And everything has just kind of gelled together, and the flavors are amazing. I am actually going to add a little bit of salt because I did taste it and I felt I could use a little bit of salt. And again, as I mentioned in my previous video, I think salt is like a super personal thing, and so put what you think you want in order for it to taste good. So here we have our beautiful dish of lentejas that's finished and that I've plated. We have a beautiful piece of carrot, a piece of sausage, a little piece of salt pork. You can see the onion mixed in there with the lentils. And now I'm going to show you how to cut it up and how to kind of prepare the dish to eat it. Now let me show you how to actually eat the lentejas. So I've got here a fork and a knife, and I am just going to chop all these ingredients up. And so what people do in Spain is they want to kind of mush this all together, and it's great because it just you get a combination of all the different flavors. The other thing that is another little secret ingredient, I guess, or a little flair that is delicious is you put in a dash or a little spoonful of vinegar, and this acid just adds I don't know how to describe it, but just this incredible zing. And it just, it's going to be quite a heavy tasting meal. And so having a little bit of the acid in there is just brilliant. And so I'm literally just going to mush all this up. It was all very pretty when I showed it to you before, but you're going to enjoy eating this. So this is how you're actually going to eat it. So I gave you the pretty version, but I'm going to give you the tasty version in terms of how to finish. So that's it for the video today. Hope you liked it. And again, please subscribe and let me know if the recipe works for you and if you have any other comments. Thanks.